Bonjour, monsieur and mademoiselle, and welcome to KidTime StoryTime. It is me, Gilles the Giraffe, and I am very pleased to introduce to you my hometown of Paris, cordially brought to you by the storyteller. Well, as soon as I saw this story, Gilles, I had to have it for you. I mean, a giraffe goes to Paris? It screams Gilles! I could not agree more. I am very pleased to be introduced to this book and to introduce it to the kids and also to this très beautiful giraffe lady. Ooh la la. Yes, I knew you would like the beautiful giraffe lady too. Alright, a giraffe goes to Paris and this is based on a true, actual, real story. It really happened. Shh, look. The moon over Paris, and there, in the moonlight, what is that? A giraffe. My giraffe. Belle. Bonjour, Belle. Ça va? Gilles, I'm reading. Oh, pardonnez-moi. So, the French people called her the belle enfant des tropiques, the beautiful child from the tropics, which she was and is. I cannot disagree. We French, we are experts in le beauty. She was a present from the great Pasha of Egypt, Muhammad Ali. Not just the boxer's name. Muhammad Ali gave this to the King of France, Charles X. No one in France had ever seen a giraffe. No one. So she was the perfect present. I was chosen to take care of Belle on her long journey from Egypt. My name, I should tell you, is Atir. Here he is. That's our kid. First, we went on a boat trip on the ancient river Nile. Ooh. Belle and I and men from the Pasha's court. And what, you may ask, does a giraffe eat while floating down the river Nile? That is an excellent question. Giraffes, after all, nibble on treetops. But where would Belle find treetops in the middle of a mighty river? And what would she eat on the even longer trip to France? We thought and thought and decided she should drink milk. Milk was the best idea, but a young giraffe, Belle was only 2, drinks a lot of milk, which is why we brought 1, 2, 3 cows with us, and to keep Belle company, 2 antelope. I would have gone, they just had to ask. Well, Gilles, maybe you were out somewhere else at the time. Once we got Belle on board the ship, look at that, there she is. We saw right away that there was another problem, a big problem. Belle wasn't going to fit. It was too dangerous to keep her above on the deck, and she was too tall to sail in the cramped quarters below. It was then that our Italian captain came up with a brilliant idea. He cut a hole in the deck, so Belle's long, graceful neck could poke out of the hole. He lined the hole with straw to protect her from the rough, splintery edges. He provided an umbrella to protect her from the sun and the rain. I like this captain. He is very thoughtful. Yes, he was, and smart too. So, off they went. Destination, France. Marseille, France. When Belle walked calmly down the gangplank, the people of Marseille could not believe their eyes. Never in their lives had they seen such a creature. Can you imagine seeing a giraffe for the very first time? She was 12 feet tall, and what was she exactly? They couldn't decide. Was she some kind of camel? She had spots like a leopard's. She had a long tongue, almost like a snake's. And she walked so strangely. First her 2 right legs, and then her 2 left legs. So she was not a horse. What was she? Everyone had a different idea. Fancy parties! Belle and I stayed in the private home of a rich lady, a countess, who threw lavish parties in Belle's honor. The parties were fun. You know I am the bête de la fête. Ooh! Yes, you are, Gilles. You are the bête de la fête. What? You don't know what that is? Party animal. Okay, but remember, we had to get to Paris. We're now in Marseille. We need to get all the way to Paris. To the king, who was awaiting Belle's arrival 500 miles away. Now, how? We were all tired of boat trips. Belle was too. And no cart was big enough to hold her. Now, Belle seemed to be enjoying her strolls around Marseille. So why not walk to Paris? That's what we did. But we would need help. someone to lead such a complicated operation. So we thought and thought, until the rich lady said, "Oh, Geoffrey Saint-Hilaire! He is a great professor at the Museum of Natural History in Paris. He is a great friend of mine, and he could do it." Professor Saint-Hilaire took charge immediately and devised an 8-week plan. Over those period of 8 weeks, we would walk with Belle the entire way from Marseille to Paris. In the meantime, we're learning here that every giraffe has different spots like fingerprints. Interesting. No two are the same. Also, a giraffe tongue. Wow, is that 18 inches long? That is really, really long. Belle wear. What? Clothing? But Belle, like any traveler setting out on a long journey, would need to have the right clothes. Oh, that's complicated. I mean, there's not a, say, giraffe Macy's. So what did they do? Well, she'd arrived in France without so much as a raincoat. And a raincoat, in fact, was precisely what she needed to protect her from the rain, the sun, and the wind. We are delicate. I mean, we are tall, but we are delicate. Correct. Now, France is not Egypt, and we did not want her catching a cold in her long, long throat. Can you imagine how scratchy your throat would be when it's that long? Wow. Anyway, so we came up with a waterproof outfit, a blanket that buttoned around her body, embroidered on one side with a coat of arms of France, right there, and on the other side with a coat of arms of the Pasha of Egypt, and it was edged in heavy black braid. She wore it as a cape around her neck. This looked very good on her, and I am serious, boots. Yes, boots. She was not used to walking such long distances. Look at that, nice comfy boots. Oh, very nice. Our caravan. Here we go. We set out. French gendarmes in front. These must be the French gendarmes right here. The cows. Remember the cows? Moo, moo, moo. And 1 or 2 of Egyptians in full dress. Now, then there was a professor walking alone. Where is he? Oh, there he is. And then Belle in her finery. There she is wearing her beautiful new outfit, her coat. And here's our kid right there with me, holding an umbrella over her head. Amir, I think was his name. Amir. Wait, I forgot his name. Going back to the front. Atir, holding the umbrella over her head. Now there were horses right here, hauling a wagon loaded with supplies. The antelopes, remember them? They were her friends in the beer and the antelope play, except in this case it was a giraffe and the antelope play. And, some sheep. Crowds lined the roads. People were hanging from the trees to be closer when she nibbled on the leaves. I'm not sure what they were expecting, a wild beast? A ferocious creature? Instead, they saw Belle. My Belle. Gentle and elegant. The best dressed animal in the world, and she did not make a sound. Auberge à la girafe. We stopped at inns that put out special signs. Auberge à la girafe. Church bells rang, ding dong, as we made our way through the air that smelled of lavender and lilac and roses. The fields were thick with olive groves, poppies, and grapevines. Ah oui, the beautiful flower-scented air of my native France. Avignon. The newspapers announced we were coming, and people streamed out to see us. Look at those crowds. We made our way through the cities with magical names. Aix-en-Provence? I'm not quite sure. The town of 1,000 fountains. Avignon, the ancient city where the Pope once lived, and then onward through Orange and Valence. So many towns saw Belle. On June 6, 1827, we arrived in Lyon. It looks like lions. Lyon. Belle walked gracefully under the city gate and into the beautiful Place Belle Court, where 30,000 people came to see her in a single day. Oh, it was grand. She's what you call a celebrity giraffe. That's my kind of woman. Okay, and there's Belle. There's Atir. Oh, Atir is behind. You can tell he's there because he's holding the umbrella over her head. But Paris, as always, was our destination. Paris and the king. And Paris loves Belle. Paris began to prepare for her arrival and went crazy. There's a picture of a souvenir ticket. They created giraffe ink. They created giraffe pens. I mean, not made of giraffe, just looking like giraffe. They wore crazy giraffe hats, but people in Wisconsin wear cheese on their heads, so that's not that insane. They created bowls, a beautiful bowl with a picture of
Belle and a tear right there leading her. And look at this bronze Belle, and they even made a piano with it. Wow. There were giraffe songs, poems, paintings, pottery, fabrics, cough drop boxes, wallpaper, toys, inkwells, jewelry, gingerbread cookies. There was a giraffe piano with strings going straight up the neck and a giraffe hairdo with wire inside. The hairdo was so tall that a wealthy lady wearing it would have to sit on the floor of her carriage to fit inside. Finally, on July 9th, 1827, the great moment had finally arrived. Belle met the king and ate rose petals out of his hand. If that is not sexy and elegant, I don't know what is. The king's children petted her beautiful spotted legs. The Grand Duchess de Berry hung a garland of roses and flowers around Belle's neck. And as for me, the king gave me a tear, 1,000 francs. Whoa! 1,000 francs goes a long way. Paris, Jardin de Plantes. And so began our 18 years in Paris. In the first 6 months, more than 600,000 Parisians came to see us, paid to see us, dressed in my best, my white turban, my fancy vest, and my white Egyptian pants. I would take Belle out on a leisurely 2-hour walk through the lovely Jardin de Plantes. That's a garden of plants, where the Parisians had made a home for us in the rotunda. The people would watch us, not believing their eyes. And look at that super long tongue at work, grabbing those leaves. Oh, and here's a map. Here's Paris, and there's the Jardin de Plantes. They actually made a round space just for her, the rotunda. In the rotunda, I have a small sleeping balcony in Belle's specially heated room. I'm right up near her head, so I can pet her. Shh. Belle is getting sleepy, and I am too. But before we both drift off, let's take one last look together at the moon. Bonne nuit, ma chère Belle. Good night, my beautiful Belle. And it emphasizes here, Belle's journey really happened. And some people refer to Belle as Zarafa. That's the name from Arabic, like Zarafa or Zarafa, and it's a word with many meanings, including creature of grace and tall one. Many scholars believe that the word giraffe comes originally from that Arabic word, Zarafa. That's interesting. In Spanish, jirafa. So you can see giraffe, zurafa, zirafa, jirafa, all very similar, all from the same root word. So, Gilles, oh, this has to be my favorite KidTime StoryTime ever. Hey, do you think you can give me the number of this beautiful Belle? I don't think she has a cell phone number. So it doesn't matter. I will go on Facebook and look for her. Anyway, kid, I hope you enjoyed the story of a giraffe goes to Paris. You see, we get around. Well, see you next time, kid. I have places to go and people to search for. Well, we know what he's going to go do. See you next time, kid, on KidTime StoryTime.